Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to react to a video I just saw. I will link it in the description below about world debt. That is national debt, but all of the nations collectively have world debt, and it's kind of a current theme and subject that people are discussing. Who is this money owed to? And this is actually a really nice video I just watched. It explains things very well, but it's a bit complex. It's a bit wordy, and I'm going to boil it down in my own words. Maybe they'll make sense to someone. I think I understood the meaning of it. And it comes down to, according to this video, 4 people throughout history in the last several hundred years who lived in different times. They were bankers, and the explanation that I just understood is that the first one, their names are stated in that video. I don't need to go over all that. The ideas and the concepts don't change based on who the people were, but the first one saw an opportunity. He was an economist, and he saw an opportunity to finance the government of England when they needed money for the war with France. And for the first time, instead of borrowing in a conventional sense, the government had a chance to borrow based on their ability to tax people, which is kind of a unique feature of any government as opposed to other types of businesses or individuals. A government has an expectation of permanency, a longevity, and no clear conclusion or maturity date, just like which is different than, say, a normal loan that you might get. So the government of England formed the Bank of England. This individual helped do that, and for the first time ever, the government was expected by design to never actually pay the principal of their debt. They would just go on and on paying interest. So it became permanent. It became permanent debt for the first time. And as explained in this video, also, this model was very soon adopted by every developed country in the world. So all debt became permanent at that point. And then the next player, the next economist and banking person, instituted a global network. These are the 4 horsemen this person's describing. The second person instituted a global network to facilitate this system that made it robust and widespread enough so that there was no single point of failure. It really crystallized it. It solidified it so that if default were to happen, it would have to take down the entire world banking network. He basically integrated it into the world banking system so that it was very robust. The third horseman, if you will, in this video, as described, said he instituted the system by which the Fed borrows from a banking system that is integrated into the government itself, was my understanding, so that there's unlimited demand to buy this debt. That is, they're never going to have a problem finding buyers so that it can be rolled over indefinitely. It's all internal. He internalized it. It was passed as law in the United States to make the government basically buy its own debt in an ongoing, permanent basis. And then the fourth horseman instituted, and this is fairly recent, like within the last 50 years, this person instituted a way so that other countries who are all involved in this banking network would not be able to default, because the issue came up that several countries were already underwater with this debt. They could not repay it on time. So the solution this person came up with was to make it so that they would get bailed out. He invented bailouts, and in exchange for the bailouts, these countries would surrender their sovereignty, they would make concessions, and basically lose their identity in the process. They would get the bailout so they could keep paying this ever-growing interest. And so the answer in the video, long story short, to why there's over $300 trillion of world debt and who it is owed to, is that we're borrowing from ourselves basically, and it's a circular thing that's getting worse and worse. We're basically digging a hole. It's a great analogy, digging a hole. So if you dig a deep hole, right, and you keep digging and digging, and you're way down in the hole, and it's the same question: where did the elevation go? Well, you're underground. That's where you dug yourself into a hole. That's where the money's owed to. You got to climb out of that hole. So last thing I want to say in summary, my analysis of this whole story, first of all, I think it's an oversimplification to blame 4 individuals. And I agree that they are pivotal and that their systems are pivotal. But this person in the video, the narrator, says many times that it is eternal, it is infinite, it is unescapable, and there's no way around it. So it's a very doom-oriented video. But I happen to believe that every puzzle has a solution. And some kind of person that could understand the problem and actually recommend clear and concise courses of action in the ways of new policies and new structures could start reversing this immediately. It wouldn't even be a problem. It's a complex problem so that very few people understand it to begin with, and this is why it continues. It's an uphill thing, and we have some unscrupulous players who are profiting from this. Obviously, the video is not candid about its scathing criticism of bankers and calls them out and blames them many times throughout the video for all of these problems, saying that they are profiting and they don't care about the debt. They are lying about what it is. They're saying that it was a problem. It's a problem we have to solve, when it's actually just a design of the system. It's a feature of the system itself, and that's what you're not hearing. It's like, okay, no, I hear you, but it doesn't really matter how you describe it. It doesn't change the nature of the thing. So I think it's reversible. I think it's just an ordinary puzzle, and the real challenge is getting people to understand the problem, getting enough people behind a solution, and actually enforcing some kind of solution. That's really the answer. And it would be a difficult project. It would be very difficult. It would probably involve a lot of sacrifices and changes, but when there's a will, there's a way, right? So reach out if you like with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com, and check that link out. It's really a great watch. Thank you.